What's up, everybody? The NFL Draft Round 1 is over. It's in the books. Here's my instant reaction. I'm going to go over a few picks here and give you a few of my thoughts real quick. So, the draft started out, Chicago came in hot. Now, we know Chicago did a lot of wheeling and dealing. They had a lot of trades. They traded 5 of their 7 draft picks, or did some trading within them, giving them only 4 on the night, but 2 of those being the first pick and the 9th pick, and they really took advantage of that. And they obviously went with Caleb Williams, the first overall pick. I don't think anybody, that was a surprise to anybody, short of anything really dramatic happening right there at the end. I think there was no doubt he was going to go there. They were going to pick him first. And look, Caleb Williams, coming out of USC, pretty good player, great player. People have questioned him, though, questioned his maturity, certain things about him, his maybe a little bit of cockiness, arrogance. But he is an incredible player, and look, he's coming into a program there at Chicago that's really being rebuilt, and they are making moves. They really are. He's going to have a wide receiver core in DJ Moore, Keenan Allen coming in, and Rome Odunze, the 9th pick. Just an incredible just 1-2 punch coming from Washington. He led the nation, broke Washington's school record with 1,640 receiving yards in 2023. What is his? Do we have his 40 time? He's fast. But anyway, aside from that, Chicago's got DeAndre Swift coming in from Philadelphia. Look, this offense is kind of reminding me of what Philadelphia's got, and I know that may make some of you, especially you Eagles fans, if you happen to be watching this, it may make you a little mad there, but they're kind of stacked. Let's be honest here. And Caleb Williams is somebody that's going to come in, and he's going to be an instant playmaker, difference maker, and we'll see. Because at this point, first round or not, you can be the first overall pick and you can be a bust. I don't see Caleb Williams really being a bust. He may be a little bit overhyped, but that's to be determined. He's got a great team around him, and, I think that's going to make the difference. He's not going to be entering a terrible situation early. We saw Bryce Young at Carolina go in there and behind a terrible offensive line and not really any playmakers out there out wide for him. You've kind of seen the drastic downfall of the Carolina Panthers, and really he couldn't be entering a better spot, especially for a quarterback that usually has the unfortunate, luck of going to the worst team in the NFL. Chicago's not the worst team in the NFL, so that's good on him. So for the 4th time in the history of the draft, 1, 2, 3, all quarterbacks. So Jayden Daniels from LSU is going to the Washington Commanders. Number 3, Drake May from North Carolina. He's going to go to the New England Patriots under their new regime. So Jayden Daniels, just a star there at LSU, won the Heisman Trophy. He's going to do great things. Honestly, he's going to make a difference wherever he goes. I almost want to pick him over Caleb Williams. And you may think I'm crazy to say that. You may think I'm a genius to say that. Jayden Daniels is a playmaker. Look, he does have a reckless style of play. If he takes the chances and takes the hits that he took in college, he's not going to last that very long in the NFL. He's got to focus, sit back in the pocket, and don't be so jumpy to go make a play on his own. Although he is a three-dimensional player, and that definitely is a benefit, especially in the modern time. But Drake May at North Carolina, just a great kid. Really as they're turning over a new leaf there in New England, I think he could be a great, like positive move going forward, if that makes any sense. So Marvin Harrison Jr. going to the Arizona Cardinals from Ohio State, wide receiver. Probably one of the best players overall, other than maybe a Brock Bowers, in this draft. So, and here's a little shakeup here. The fifth pick, Joe Alt, the Chargers picking him up, the offensive tackle from Notre Dame. I saw a lot of mock drafts, and I think a lot of the Tennessee Titans fans were expecting Joe Alt to go to Tennessee, to be drafted to Tennessee. No. Harbaugh and the LA Chargers thought otherwise. They took him off the board. But Tennessee gets J.C. Latham from Alabama, another great, incredible player that played under Saban in his last year. So, and that's something that they needed. So regardless, for the Titans, as they're trying to rebuild that O-line, they're trying to really, just do all they can to improve, because they're looking pretty rough. That's another team that needs all the help they can get. So right here's maybe a shocker, and I don't know how you Falcons fans are feeling about this, but Atlanta goes with Michael Penix Jr., quarterback from Washington. And this was a shock. You watch on ESPN or the NFL Network, everyone was kind of shocked at this call here. If you don't know, the Falcons, they just recently signed Kirk Cousins. He's got a $180 million contract with $100 million of that guaranteed, and this going over 4 years. But you would expect Michael Penix Jr. to come in and learn under Kirk Cousins, and that's never a bad thing, honestly. You think these quarterbacks that go in the first round, they're going to be automatically ready to get plugged in and play from day one. That's not always the case. A lot of times it's better for the player themselves to sit back, be mentored behind a veteran, and in turn really help them their future. Because if you're going to a team that's really desperate and you get thrown in there and you're expected to be a star, you're expected to really change the team when you're learning, you're experiencing the NFL for the first time, that can be really tough. So that could be good for Michael Penix Jr. Interesting decision, though. I think it's a lot of people are viewing that as a very negative choice, like they've blown it. You've got other stars out there, maybe other needs that they need. But look, that's the decision they made. And I had some information here. It was a quote about this, because I think all this came up sort of abrupt there. So, all right. So Kirk Cousins' agent, Mike McCartney, told ESPN's Pete Thamel that the Falcons notified the QB, Cousins, that they'd pick Penix when the team was on the clock. McCartney said there's frustration and confusion coming from Cousins' camp because Atlanta did not use its first-round pick to make the team better in 2024. Instead, the Falcons used their selection on Cousins' apparent successor before Cousins played a single down for the team. McCartney said Cousins understands the business of football and is ready to move on, but there is indeed surprise about the Falcons' decision. So they told him, they let Cousins know while they were on the clock there that they were going to make this decision. And obviously, coming from an agent, he's going to, because he sees that as competition. His guy, his client, Kirk Cousins, has some competition. Kirk Cousins is going to be the quarterback. The GM said that in a press conference. And I have no doubt that he's going to play. He may even play the next 2 years. We'll have to see, take it year by year. Is it a good decision? Is it a bad decision? We don't know. it can't be a bad decision. The only way it's a bad decision is if in taking him in the first round, you may have a weakness that you really find to be a detriment to you in this upcoming season and in the seasons to come. You could say, well, if they would have just took so-and-so instead of Michael Penix, maybe they wouldn't be in a situation they are. But like all things, you know, the draft is still going on. We don't know what other players they're going to draft. It's going to be okay, folks. It's going to be okay. But other than that, you know, the draft, pretty interesting so far. I think a lot of it, honestly, was kind of what we expected. You had Bo Nix. He was expected to go to Denver, and he's there. Brock Bowers to the Raiders. And yeah, a lot of no really surprises other than the one with Penix. Everything's pretty much sort of as expected, but it's exciting. The Chicago Bears are really setting themselves up to have a good season and to have a good future. And we owe them the credit for that. But I guess that's all I've got. It was a offensive heavy first round. Let's see, what do we say here? The first 14 picks were all offensive players, 6 of them being quarterbacks. We'll go through the quarterbacks again. You obviously had Caleb Williams at 1, Jaden Daniels at 2, Drake May at 3. And then you had Michael Penix Jr. at the 8th pick. J.J. McCarthy from Michigan going to the Vikings at number 10. And then you had Bo Nix from Oregon going to Denver, the 12th pick of the first round. So there you go. Offensive heavy first round, round 2, round 3, and all the way through 7. Rounds 2 and 3, this is where your real, a lot of your difference makers come in. Because not everybody that comes into the first round, gets drafted in the first round or the second round, that matter, is automatically a star. A lot of your stars come from 3, 4, 5, 6. Just look at Tom Brady. What more can I say? Greatest quarterback of all time. That's going to ruffle some feathers right there. But anyway, appreciate everybody watching. My name's Brandon Taylor. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Peace, everybody.